tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Ekayano ayang bhikkhave maggo sattanang visuddhiyati. Pious devotees of the Dhamma, today in this sermon we are going to learn about mindfulness. Mindfulness is a subject that is being discussed all around the world, because in today's world many people have various types of mental problems, mental disorders, stress, depression and so on. Therefore, mindfulness is being learned and being practiced in many places. The mindfulness taught by the Buddha is the most practical method of practicing mindfulness, because that method is perfect, complete and direct. There are so many discourses of the Buddha where it is explained mindfulness. Among them, the Satipatthana Sutta takes the best place. Satipatthana Sutta. Satipatthana Sutta comes in Digha Nikaya, in the collection of the long discourses. Satipatthana, first of all, let's know the meaning of the word Satipatthana. The term Satipatthana is divided in two different ways by the grammarians. Satipatthana or Satipatthana. If we divide the term Satipatthana as Sati plus Patthana, the meaning can be derived as establishing of mindfulness. Establishing of mindfulness. The second way of dividing the term is Satipatthana. If we take the meaning from that, Satipatthana, bringing forth the mindfulness. Bringing forth the mindfulness. Both has no big difference in meaning. What is important is how to practice the mindfulness. In the beginning of the Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha gives a brief introduction to the mindfulness, how important it is, how valuable it is, how practical it is. Ekayano ayang bhikkhave maggo sattanang visuddhya. O monks, this is the direct path, direct way for the purification of the beings. This is the direct path for the purification of beings. Sattanam visuddhya. Soka pariddavanam samatikkamaya. To overcome suffering and mental distress. Soka pariddavanang samatikkamaya, to overcome suffering and distress, mental distress. Nyayassa adhigamaya. What is nyaya? So nyaya in Pali can be known as nyaya in Sanskrit. Nyaya means the way, the method, or the theory. So nyayassa adhigamaya in Pali, here nyaya means the knowledge. So the knowledge of what? The knowledge of the Four Noble Truths. So nyayassa adhigamaya means to attain the knowledge, to attain the supreme knowledge which is leading to Nibbana. That knowledge is the knowledge of the Four Noble Truths. Nyayassa adhigamaya. Nibbanassa satchikiriyaya. Nibbanassa satchikiriyaya. To gain, to attain Nibbana, the ultimate freedom, the ultimate liberation, Nibbana. Nivana, ceasing the fire, Nivana. So Nibbana, the cessation, the ceasing of fire. People are burning with different kinds of fire. So it is explained that generally there are 11 kinds of fire. So the beings are being burnt with different kinds of fire. Ceasing all these kinds of fire is the bliss. It is the happiness. It is the joy. It is the pleasure. So it is the ultimate bliss, liberation, Nibbana. In order to attain Nibbana, this is the direct path, Satipatthana. In some translations, it is given as the only way to Nibbana. So I don't like to take the term ekayana as the only way, because eka ayana means one direction. So the one directed path, eka ayana, running towards the direction, running directly to the goal. So it is, so we can say, but it is not so beautiful to say it is the only path. It is indeed the only path, Satipatthana, but then one can question what is about the Noble Eightfold Path. So the Noble Eightfold Path, going on the Noble Eightfold Path is nothing different than practicing Satipatthana, mindfulness. Satipatthana, practicing Satipatthana is not only practicing mindfulness, it depends on how we explain, how we derive the meaning from the word mindfulness, because mindfulness itself directly is connected to samatha, samadhi, the concentration meditation. There is another kind of practice which is called vipassana, insight meditation. So here in Satipatthana, it is not only about practicing samadhi, concentration. It is also about practicing wisdom or gaining wisdom through insight meditation, through vipassana. So Satipatthana is a mix of samatha and vipassana, concentration method and insight meditation. So if we take mindfulness, or if we mean through mindfulness the both methods, samatha and vipassana, then it is okay to translate Satipatthana as establishing the mindfulness. But if we merely take the meaning samatha, concentration, from the term mindfulness, then it lacks of vipassana, therefore it doesn't match in that case. So this is a problem of the language. In Pali, Satipatthana, when we say Satipatthana, it means the both methods, samatha and vipassana, concentration method and insight method. So there is something for you to learn only through the term Satipatthana. We have so many things to learn. So if we go into deep like that, we can learn it in many different ways. Good. So in our practical day-to-day life, practicing mindfulness is very, very important. It's a vital thing in today's world. Today, people are very busy. They have so many things to do in the within 24 hours. Sometimes 24 hours is not enough for some people. So they may be thinking 30 hours is better to have in a day. Yes, for those people, the old Sinhalese clock is very practical. 30 hours clock. We had a 30 hours clock. This is just a joke. There's no difference between 24 hours clock and 30 hours clock in early times. But we can use the time in a useful way. If we know how to use time, if we know how to deal with time, 24 hours are more than enough for us. Consider how many minutes that we waste in a day. If we organize the day properly, if we have a timetable, then we can find there are so many gaps between two duties that we do. So this gap comes simply because we do not decide earlier what we need to do in a day. For example, tomorrow, Monday, let's take an example, Monday. On Monday, what are my duties to accomplish? So we can write down. How much time do I need to complete this task? And that task, 1 hour, 2 hours. So after completing that task, what do I have to do next? So we can arrange our timetable. Then we can find so much time is rest for us to have something that brings leisure to us, that makes us happy. It can be doing meditation. It can be listening to a Dhamma sermon. It can be reading a discourse of the Buddha. It can be watching a film or teledrama or playing with children or whatever else. So there is so much time left in a day. In a day, if we arrange the day, if we arrange the time properly. So it is not true when people say, I have no time to meditate, I have no time to practice Dhamma, I have no time to spend with children. No, it is not the truth. We have enough time. Only we need to use the time wisely, in a proper way. Good. So, if we go back to the discourse, Satipatthana Sutta, practicing mindfulness is very important for a person who is very busy. It is also very important for a person who seeks the liberation, the cessation. So as Buddhists, we need to develop our day-to-day life goodness, and we also need to develop our spiritual experience. We need to have spiritual experience day by day, new experience. If we tend to get an spiritual experience, then we will be wanting it again and again. It is like when we eat a delicious food once, we may be wanting it again and again. Similarly, if we tend to get spiritual experience, then we need it again and again. So I invite you to get this spiritual experience. How can we do it? We can do it either through a proper meditation or through reading a discourse of the Buddha or through discussing the teaching of the Buddha. Through discussion, we can get knowledge. But this knowledge will be practical only when we take time, when we take a time where the others do not disturb us, and when we contemplate. So the contemplation is very important. The things that we learn through listening to the Dhamma discourses, Dhamma sermons, and through discussions and through readings, we need to practice it. We need to realize it through our only free leisure and silent time. That means we need to have a time in a day that we are alone. So I should be alone. I should be in some place without my mobile phone, which is very difficult for some people, for many people. Sometimes you always need to check if you have your mobile phone with you. Even when you have observed 8 precepts, you may need to check whether you have a notification or a message or an email. So that is how it is. Or if you have missed a call from someone, why? Before a couple of decades, we did not have any mobile phone. How did we live in that time? No phones, no disturbances. Now, the wisdom is hindered. The wisdom is cut off sometimes through new technology. I don't know if there is any one of you that who doesn't have a smartphone. So what do you have on your smartphone? Facebook, WhatsApp, Viber, email application, and many other applications. What do all these applications do for you? They help you connect with the world. Have you connected with your own family? Have you connected with your own son or daughter, wife or husband? Sometimes wife is in the other room, you are in this room, and you are asking wife something using WhatsApp. I know this is very commonly done. You don't like to knock at the door of the other room and open the door and go inside, see the face of the other person, smile, ask how are you, and then ask your thing. Oh, such a waste of time, you may be thinking. Therefore, it is easy for you to send a WhatsApp message asking, what are we eating today? Or you may be sending a message to your wife who is in the next room, telling the child is crying. What a joke. But this is the reality in today's world. This is the bitter truth. So you are so much addicted to your phone. You are so much addicted to social media. You know everything which is happening around the world, but sometimes you don't know whether your child has done homework, what marks has your child taken in the exam, if he or she has failed the exam or passed the exam, taken good marks. You don't know it sometimes. Sometimes you have no time to admire your children. You have no time to ask them when they are returning from the school, who did you meet today? What did you do today? Was the study successful today? Have you done all the exercises correctly? Did you have something to eat for the lunch today? How was the lunch? Was it delicious? Did you bring your water bottle to the school? Sometimes you forget to ask them. Early in the morning you are too busy. You don't ask your child if he or she has everything he or she needs for the school. And the children also have no time to maybe respect you. In early times, the children were tending to worship, bent towards the parents. But nowadays, some children even don't give a kiss to the mother or father. They just leave saying goodbye. That's all. Because they have no time, you have no time. You have to think what has happened. So we need to be away from our technology for some time. We need to be together with humans. You are not together with humans, you are together with machines always in front of a computer, touching the mobile phone or watching the TV. You don't watch with your bare eyes at your wife. You don't look at your children or husband, mother or father. So we need to think. Our most venerable late Madihe Panyasihat Mahanayagathero has given a good suggestion or good advice for the families, Buddhist families. It is evening in the dinner time, be all together in the family. So in nowadays we can add, keep all the mobile phones at your room. Don't bring them to the dining table. Keep them, put them in the room and come without phones, tabs and so on. Be all together. Look at the faces of others. Smile at others. And you can have dinner together. After finishing the dinner, have a short discussion. Have a leisure time all together. Laugh. Make a joke. Ask how the day was from each other. So today, the members of the family have no time to see each other. So we need to change immediately our habits, our attitudes. Otherwise, we will lose our nearest ones, dearest ones. We may be having 5,000 friends on Facebook, but we may not be having 2-3 important friends when we have a problem, when we have a difficulty in the life. Therefore, have no many digital friends, have a few physical and practical friends, real friends in real life. So we can't ask the friend on Facebook to come and help when we have a problem. We need to have a good neighbor. How many of you are friendly with your neighbors? Some people are not friendly with the neighbors. The neighbors don't know what happens in your house. You don't know what happens in their house. You can say it is their privacy. Yes, true. But in the same way, when someone has a problem, so someone may be living in a house alone, so there can happen anything. Some health problem, or even someone can die. So the other people don't know what has happened there. But if we have good neighbors who are looking after us, then always when we have a problem, they are there for us. So the connections are very important. Relationships are very important, good relationships. So in nowadays we are losing them. So this is also a part of life. Therefore, we need to think about to lead a practical life, not to live in a dream world, not to live in a virtual world, virtual atmosphere, but to foot on the earth, to foot on the earth. Many people do not foot on the earth; they live in the sky. So, to be mindful is something which is connected with our physical activities, which is connected with our thoughts, which is connected with our feelings, which is connected with our wisdom. Therefore, Satipatthana is fourfold. So establishing mindfulness is fourfold. Kayanupassana, Vedananupassana, Cittanupassana and Dhammanupassana. Kayanupassana, being mindful on physical activities. Vedananupassana, to be mindful on feelings. Vedana are not only unpleasurable feelings, painful feelings. In Sinhalese language, when we say Vedana, many people consider about pain. But in Pali, Vedana does not mean merely pain. It means all three kinds of feelings, pleasurable feelings, moderate feelings, and painful or unpleasurable feelings. If we are mindful, when we get a feeling, when we have a feeling, if the feeling is painful, if the feeling is unpleasurable, we can even, I am not saying be happy, but we can even have a positive, good status of the mind, even when we have a painful feeling. If we have mindfulness. So we are mindful, we are not attacking the painful feeling. We are not angry with the painful feeling. We have no hatred. We are just observing. There is a painful feeling. There is a painful feeling. So we are not going to be away from this feeling. We are not going to fight with the feeling. We are not going to avoid the feeling. We are just observing. We are not taking the feeling as ours. So, this feeling is not mine. This is just a feeling. Feeling is a feeling. It is not my feeling or his feeling. It is just a feeling. So, Buddha says, Sukhang Vedanang Vedyamano. When one experiences pleasurable feeling, Sukhang Vedanang Vedyamiti Pajanati, he or she knows that he or she is experiencing a pleasurable feeling. That is all. Experiencing pleasurable feeling, one knows Sukhang Vedanang Vediyami, I experience a pleasurable feeling. That is all. When one experiences an unpleasant feeling, I experience an unpleasant feeling. Adukkha masukham. When one experiences a feeling which is not pleasant or unpleasant, then also one knows I experience a feeling which is not pleasant, which is not unpleasant. So, this is nothing else than living in this moment. Living in this moment. Living in present. So, if we live in this moment, if we have a grave suffering, we can understand this suffering prevails only 1 second. How? You can say, no, I experienced a bad feeling, or I had suffering for to say 1 hour, 1 day. So I had a disease and I experienced pain for 1 month, you can say. But one person lives in one moment, only one moment. Do you understand what I say? Do you get what I say? So we live only in this moment. In this moment, if we have painful feeling, we experience it only for 1 moment. All the other unpleasant feelings that we had are now in the past. It is no more there. All the suffering which has not come. It is also not there. I experience some bad feeling only in this moment. So it is only for 1 moment. So if we can make our mind in this moment, then we are free of suffering. We don't need to think about our past. We don't need to worry about our future. No? We can just be happy in this moment. If we make this moment, then we make all the day, all the life. So make this moment happy. Make this moment peaceful. Live mindfully in this second, in this moment. Then you live mindfully all the time. So once a deity has come to Buddha and asks, Aranye nivasantanang santanang brahmacharinang eka bhattang bunjamanang kena vanno pasidati. The monks that are in the forest eat only once a day, but still their complexion is very beautiful. So how can this happen? Buddha answers, Atitang nanu sochanti. They do not worry about the past. Nappajappanti nagatang. They have no wishes about the future. So you can think about yourself. Do you suffer about your past? Why not? But why? There is no reason to think about the past. The past is gone. The past is no more with us. It is gone. So why worry about something which is not with you, which you do not see, which you do not feel, which you do not experience? Why do you bring something which is already completed to this moment again? Sometimes you think about one of your enemies who has done something bad for you, but it is already done. You are taking this anger from past till this moment. Why is it important? No, it is not important. So don't bring yesterday towards today. Don't bring yesterday to today. Leave yesterday as yesterday. It is past, it is gone, it is finished. No more memories about the past. No, you don't need. Think about what you have to do in this moment. How can you make this moment useful? How can you use this second which brings you happiness for your life? Do it. Don't hang on the past. Don't think about your enemies. Don't be jealous about your neighbor. He or she has bought a new car. No, it doesn't matter. It is good. It is good that people buy new cars. It is good that people buy helicopters. It is good that people buy aeroplanes. So many people are complaining about politicians, that the politicians are very rich. Let them be rich. If they earn in a wrong way, they will suffer. You don't need to be a part of it. You don't need to think about it. So you don't need to justify when someone does something wrong in the society. I'm not talking about that. But why do you worry about something is done by someone else? No need. So don't make your life heavy. Don't make your life heavy with all the rubbish around you. No. Leave this thing away. Be free. Be free. You even don't need to think about your future. Why? The future has not come. The future is nothing about this moment, because if we are unhappy in this moment, future will also be a bad one. So do something useful, do something good, do something which makes us happy in this moment. That is all. Then our tomorrow will be definitely a happier one, a successful one. So this is how a wise person thinks. So the Buddha explains why the monks are so beautiful, why the monks are so, why is their skin so beautiful. Pachupannena yapenti, they just live from what they have now. Pachupannena yapenti, pati uppannena, they live from what has arisen, which means in this moment. So they live or they enjoy what they have in this moment. That is why they are so beautiful. So you don't need to go to beauty salons to make you beauty. You can be beautiful simply by living in this moment, simply by being mindful, simply by being happy in this moment. Pachupannena yapenti. Don't think about your past, don't worry about your future, just do what you can do in this moment and be content. You have done something good, be content, that is enough. So this is how we can bring mindfulness towards our day-to-day life. When we walk, we know that we walk. When we sit, we know, or we are mindful that we are sitting. When we listen, we do it properly and we know we are listening. But even when we listen to Dhamma, we are not listening it properly because from the mind we are somewhere else. Maybe we are checking if we have locked the door before coming. Or maybe we are checking if we have locked the safe properly. So we are not in this moment here. We are somewhere else. Therefore we don't remember what we listen in the Dhamma sermon. So if you go back home in the afternoon, if your son or daughter asks mother or father, did you listen to the Dhamma sermon? You may be saying, yes, it was very good. What did you listen in the Dhamma sermon? The monk has said something, but I don't remember it now. No use of listening if you can't remember what you have listened. At least make a summary of what you listen now. I mean, throughout the day in the Dhamma sermons. Make a summary. Learn to or teach your mind what did you learn new today. So, for example, through this sermon, you learned something new today. You learned the two different explanations or the interpretations of the term Satipatthana. So I taught you the teachers divide this term in two ways, Satipatthana or Satiupattana. So the meanings of the two different interpretations, two different ways of derivation. And what belongs to Satipatthana, I explained you, it is not only samatha, it is also vipassana in Satipatthana. And there are 4 methods of establishing mindfulness: Kayanupassana, contemplation on body; Vedananupassana, feelings; Cittanupassana, mind; Dhammanupassana, dhammas. So the 4 ways of establishing mindfulness. And to Kayanupassana, it belongs many different methods of meditation, being mindful on the different movements, and also the meditation techniques like anapanasati, breathing, and navasivatika, what happens to the body after the death. Different kinds of things which belongs to the body or which is connected with the body come in the category of Kayanupassana. So there are many things to talk about Satipatthana. So we can have another time to talk more in detail about Satipatthana Sutta. But for now, we can learn that there are different practices of Kayanupassana, contemplation on body, which begins with anapanasati, the breathing meditation, and then you have iriyapatha bhavana, being mindful on main 4 postures: standing, sitting, walking, and lying down. These 4 main postures. So be mindful when you walk. Be mindful when you are lay down. Be mindful when you are sitting. Be mindful when you are standing. And the third meditation method is sampajanya bhavana. Sampajanya means to be mindful in bodily movements. When you speak, when you eat, when you go forth and back, when you move, when you look here and there, when you bend your hands or limbs, when you stretch your limbs, be mindful, sampajanya. And the fourth technique is patikula manasikara. It is about the 32 impurities of the body, the hair, the blood, the flesh, and so on. And the fifth one is dhatu manasikara. It is about the 4 elements: earth element, water element, fire element, and air element, which are already in our body. It is a good practice of vipassana if you do dhatu manasikara. So you divide this body into 4 elements. So there is earth element, especially on bones and flesh, meat, and in any of other strong part of the body, there is earth element, and there is also water element on blood, on pus, on urine, and so on. Water element and fire element, where there is heat in the body. In all these places there is heat element. And air element, all other places there is air element. So when we see these 4 elements in our body through the meditation, then we can understand this is not my body, but it is just these 4 elements. And what is the nature of these elements? The nature is impermanent, leads to no satisfaction, and not mine. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca, impermanent. Dukkha leads to no satisfaction. Anatta, not mine, or there is no soul. So first we saw this as my body, and then we divided it into 4 elements. Each element has 3 phenomena: impermanent, leads to no satisfaction, not mine. So that is all. So you can put away the wrong view of mine, me, myself. So you can come out of this soul view. So the view of soul is a wrong view. So you can be away from it, which means you are going towards wisdom. You are going towards nibbana, nirvana. So this is how you can realize nibbana in this very life. It is very practical. You can do it. So try to learn these things and try to practice them. And the final method which belongs to Kayanupassana is Navasivatika. As I have told you earlier, when somebody is died, this body changes day by day. So the changes, a monk can see these changes and meditate on it. Good. I think the time is up. We have learned mainly about Kayanupassana, but we also have learned about feeling, Vedananupassana, and Citta, the mind, and Dhammanupassana in short. Through this learning, we have gained knowledge, we have gained a sort of wisdom which we can develop through contemplation. So I invite you to think about these things, consider about these things, contemplate on these things, and then through that gain wisdom, more and more wisdom. And you can reach little by little towards Nibbana. You can go on the noble path. So let us wish, may all the merits which we gained through listening to this Dhamma sermon be there for my wisdom. May I be able to practice Satipatthana, mindfulness and wisdom. May I be able to realize Nibbana, the final bliss of cessation, the final liberation of suffering. May we all get Nibbana. Nibbana Pachayo Hotu. Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu sasanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu tvang sada.